Hi, I'm Matt Cole. Welcome to the Hub Show. I hope you've had a brilliant Christmas. In this episode of the show, we're going to be talking about your ideal riding temperature, handguards, the best winter tyres, and we're going to be taking a look at your best pictures and videos. Let's get stuck in. The first question we asked you lovely YouTube subscribers was, do you run winter tyres? And the options were, yes I do, no I don't, and I didn't know that was a thing. 13% of you said you do, 69% of you don't, and 17% of you have not got a clue that that was a thing. I'll kick this one off. I just run the same tyres pretty much all the year round because the conditions are never amazingly good in the winter or the summer, to be honest. It's always raining or muddy or grim. This is what you said, Michael N. I just run the same tyres all year round. Maybe I should consider getting a pair of winter tyres just for those really muddy and wet days. Cameron Rowe says, honestly, I live in Southern California. There isn't really a winter. Oh, jealous, Cameron. Sounds amazing. Gerald Powell says, when I lived in Pennsylvania, I had 3 sets of tyres. First was for summer, then I had a tougher tyre for winter. The third set was a studded tyre for ice and deep snow. Joanne Griffiths says, Magic Mary front and back, but I live in Wales, so pretty much leave on all year. King Ratty, says, on my 29 AM hardtail, I run 2.5 Vigilante and 2.5 HR2 tyres for wet months. In dry months, I run 2.6 XR5 and 2.5 Aggressor tyres. Nice one, Mr. Rat. Jamie MTB says, I use Mavic Quest XL Pro 2.5 and Mavic Claw XL Pro 2.4 all year round and in all weathers. And to wrap this one up, let's finish with Owen Moore, who says DHR2 on the rear and DHF on the front, Maxis. Minion SS on the rear in summer. Cheers, Owen. The second question we asked you was, during a ride, would you rather be too hot or too cold? Simple one this, 1,600 of you voted on this one and 64% of you said too hot, 36% of you too cold. Me, too hot every day of the week. I hate really riding in the cold. This is what you said, Charlie Wilson, riding in the heat is nasty business. At least in the cold you can warm up by riding and get more layers on. The T-Force says, I would most definitely enjoy being sweating hot than having to add layers in the cold, thus being as movable as a tortoise. I'm with you there, Mr. or Mrs. T-Force. Reese Daly says, I'd rather be too hot, you can stop and have a break, and usually I ride in shady forests. Leonard MTB says, dump some clothes along the ride. Not the sort of attitude we're looking for. William Work says, I have to say too cold. You can always dress warmer. There's only so cool you can dress. Rick L says, it's more difficult to cool down than to warm up, so I'll choose too cold. Stay Hydrated, apt, says, I like it when you heat up on the climb and cool down on the descent. There's nothing like that feeling. Douglas Young says, I can always get warm. Getting cooler can be a struggle. And to finish this one off, Mikey B MTB says, always overdress, then take a layer off or open some vents. Cold ruins a good ride. Cheers, buddy. The final question we asked you lovely YouTube subscribers was, do you use handguards on your mountain bike? The options were, yes I do, no I don't, and I would like to try them. 4% of you do, 74% of you don't, and 23% of you would like to try them. I have never tried or had any inclination to use handguards on a mountain bike. Let's see what you said. SW says, gloves are generally enough against thorns and bushes. I've often thought that wouldn't offer much protection against tree hits, which is my usual impact point, or cause more damage, in my opinion. Tom88 says, Sam Hill AVS guards. I ride natural single track and I'm fed up of getting hands scratched or thorns in them. They look great too. Mel Walsh MTB says, they're not necessary. In some places I could use them, but most I wouldn't need them for where I ride, and they are ridiculously priced, sadly. Timo says, I've considered getting some. I mostly ride natural trails and I'm hitting bushes and trees all too often. Also, nettle stings on hands are no fun. Yeah, they're not fun at all. Aidan Thwaites says, VC guards for the win. Thanks, local Colorado companies. Thanks to the local Colorado companies. Megan says, gloves are good enough for me. Richard Blackburn says, tearing up your hands is part of the fun. Joe Lodd says, I just wear gloves. Ivan says, not a whole lot of trees where I ride for the most part, just a lot of fine brush in Southern California. Ginger Liam says, gloves are fine. And Brandon Watkins says, I don't, because my local trails are well groomed, so I don't have any trees whacking my knuckles, and I don't see the need for them in my area. Cheers, Brandon. Now we're on to the section of the show where we take a look at some of your best pictures and videos. Just hashtag CRC Hub on social media, and you might find your way onto this show. Let's start with HA11_Cupra. Catchy name. Really cool looking bike here, a Norco Fluid 3 full suspension mountain bike. And HA11_Cupra says, nice little snap whilst out for a blast earlier. Absolutely love my new Norco bike and can't wait for the epic bike park adventures next year. It does look like an awesome bike. Let us know where you've been on it. Love it. This is a beautiful picture here. I think it's David Lilly has tagged us in this one. It's at the Derwent Reservoir in Derbyshire. Beautiful looking hardtail there, out in nature's beauty. Cheers for sharing that one, David. On to the third one, Enduro Events have tagged us in this one. A muddy day at Fly Up 417 Bike Park. That is a muddy looking Vita Summit by the looks of it. Cheers for tagging us in that one. On to the next one, and Matteo Doody Foodie says, the big bike goes and the shoulder is holding up. Loving the Vita Summit. There's a video on this one. Let's see what's going on here on the Vita Summit. Oh yeah, nice little jump there. Love that. Cheers for sharing that one. And on to the final one. Manchester MTB says, wet one today. Thanks Ollie Smith for the vid. Let's take a look at that vid. Oh no, don't go through the river. Yeah, nice. Love that one. Wet day out on the bike, can't beat it. Cheers for sending that one. Tag us in all your pictures with CRC Hub and you might end up on this YouTube video. There you go, that's another episode of the Hub Show done. Thanks as ever for getting involved. If you want to answer any questions from today's show, just click the link in the description. And to get involved in next week's show, just hit the community tab on this YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, take it easy. All right, big boy. You go to the left of me, please. All right, are you ready? Yeah, see, that is where you're good. I love the bike. Me, myself.